You may be asking yourself many questions right now. 1. This is a very different video. Why are you doing this? 2. Can that title really be trusted? And 3. I thought you were gay. Now, without further ado, I will now start this video, entitled, Useless Virgin Whines About His Rejection. Now, it was about a week and a half ago, a few days after Christmas, and I'd say maybe the 28th, 29th-ish? I'm not completely sure, but it was around that time. It was a Sunday, at the mall, and I'd go there hoping to buy some stuff with the Christmas money I'd gotten recently. I'm there with 2 friends, and funnily enough, I bought this shirt there on that day. Who would have noticed? I mean, who would have known, right? But that I would wear it at conveniently the right time. But I was there with 2 friends, and we go up to this little stand, those little massive cart type things that are in the mall with someone working there and selling stuff. We walk up, and I actually I didn't buy anything, but one of my friends did buy me a metal bookmark with Himiko Toga from My Hero Academia on it, and I'm like, yes. You probably see it on the shelf in the background, but I'm obviously using it to read a book right now since it's a bookmark. But after this, there's also a few other things there, some Pokemon shirts, all kinds of other things. But one thing that happened there, the most important thing, is that there was a female working there, okay? And obviously there's anime stuff there, and she apparently said that Himiko Toga was best girl to my friend when he was buying that. And I'm immediately like, well, pretty cool, I agree, she is best girl. And they tell me to ask for her Snapchat, and I'm like, nah, I'm not up for that, that's not my thing, I'm gonna back out of that right quick. I'm a head out, boys. Now after this, I'm honestly really regretting my choice not to ask for her Snapchat. Personally, I'm just like, well, it's probably not gonna work out, but I could have at least asked. I mean, what was the harm? I'm just too awkward to actually talk to people, is the thing. Not just that she was a female or whatever, it's just that I'm awkward around trying to talk to anybody I don't know. I mean, I can go up and do some random shit right in fucking front of them. But it won't matter, you know why? Because I'll never see those people again in my life. But if it's someone I know I have to make an a good first impression on, or that I'm gonna be actively seeing in the future, I'm gonna be a little nervous going into it and awkward because I don't know how to approach these things with new people. So because of that, I couldn't ask her. I don't think I could really ask anybody, but around the time me and my 2 friends were walking out of Hot Topic, which we were in there because, well, I was in there because I desperately wanted a Fall Out Boy shirt, but I'm broke, so. Oh, around that time I was broke. I was running out of money. Still got suckered into buying this, though, right on after. But anyway, we walked out of Hot Topic, and there, I see my friends whispering. They're just sitting there whispering to each other, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I ask them. They're just like, oh, it's nothing. I'm like, it's clearly fucking something, because you wouldn't be whispering. But whatever, I dismiss it. I'm like, who gives a shit? It's probably some stupid fucking, a joke or whatever on my behalf. But I'm like, okay, I'll just ignore it. Then we go to FYE, where, like I said, I bought this shirt, and in there, right after we walk out, they're whispering to each other again. And we're walking, I don't know where we're going, they don't really mention it, because we've already been practically everywhere we wanted to, and they just look at, one of them looks at me and says, hey, we're gonna head back to Spencer's and check if they have Cards Against Humanity again, which, that was really the only thing we were still looking for at that point, because we were gonna buy that, and all put money towards it, which we did. Good times right there, Cards Against Humanity. But we bought it, and, well, we bought it later, but we walked back to Spencer's, which I don't know if you know, well, actually, why would you know? Her little, stand or whatever thing was, right by Spencer's in the mall. And then they're like, and then my friend walks me up there. It's like, wait, what the fuck? And I'm just so confused. I realized then and there what they were fucking whispering about. And I'm a little mad because they didn't like be like, yeah, we're gonna take you back over there. And he makes me ask for her Snapchat. But it worked out. She introduced herself, and I'm just gonna stick with the fake name here because I know no one's gonna do anything because I have like 60 subscribers, but at the same time, I don't like giving out people's personal information. Even if no one's gonna see it, it just feels wrong to me, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say her name was... We'll say her name was... Susan. You know, good old Susan with Jitski, am I right, boys? Now, Susan gave me her Snapchat. Well, yeah, that's what happened, and I don't know why I was trying to get across there, but she gave me her Snapchat, and we go by Cards Against Humanity, and we leave the mall like an hour later, maybe 45 minutes, and after that, I get back to my friend's house, and he's sitting there playing Jedi Fallen Order, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna try and talk to her, see what happens. We talk a bit, nothing really happens, we just sort of talk, and over the course of the next week, we seem to be getting along and everything. I mean, I wasn't hoping for it, I wasn't expecting anything to happen, but I was hoping that there could be a chance in the back of my head, because even then, when there were points where I was like, this might actually work out, I was always like, I don't know about that. I was never really hoping for it a lot, but it was still back there, waiting, bubbling. And at some point, well, I mentioned anime, since she liked anime, I like anime. It's an obvious, like, thing we both enjoy. It's only natural to talk about it, you know? And we talk about it. She tells me her favorite animes, which were Fruits Basket and Baka and Test. Now, I don't know Baka and Test. Everyone knows Fruits Basket. And I hadn't seen it at that point. I still haven't finished it, but I watch Baka and Test after she says it's really good, and we talk about it for a second. Then I tell her my favorite shows are Death Note and Steins Gate. Just since she gave 2, I figured I'd give 2, even though Death Note is my favorite. And the next day, I talk to her, we talk about the show, I say it's good, and a day later, I finished Season 1, and maybe about 4 days ago, I finished Season 2, so I started watching Fruits Basket, and up until this point, there were no real signs that anything she was, like, didn't like that we were talking, and I finished Baka and Test, and I started watching Fruits Basket. I get on to tell her that Fruits Basket's good. I've watched the first few episodes. I like it so far. And I keep seeing the little fail to send, tap to retry, and I'm like, what the fuck? My internet messed up? So I tried texting one of my friends and sending them something, just dicking around, and it went through, and I was like, and we talked for like 2 minutes, and I was like, what the fuck? Why isn't it going through? Then I looked up what happens when someone blocks you, and apparently that's one of the things that happens when somebody blocks you. So unbeknownst to me, she was hiding that she didn't want to talk to me. Susan, please, what is wrong with you? But, at that point, I'm really confused. Because things seem to be going good. I mean, not the best, but we were, from my point of view, getting along fine. Which, I don't know. And then I decide, you know what? She's already blocked me. I'll just make a new account, ask about it. I've apparently already fucked up, so what's the worst I can do? If I make a new account, I just call it Fake Person because I can't think of a fucking name. I think it's like Fake Person 20 if you want to go add me and then never have nothing happen, essentially. But I ask if she blocked me, she asks who it is, I tell her who it is, and she says yeah. And at that point, I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you not say anything if you didn't want to talk to me? I didn't say that. I said, if you didn't want to talk, you could have just said so. Then she says some shit about how she has a boyfriend, and I'm like, okay, first of all, likely excuse. I don't say that. That's what I'm thinking. But I give her the benefit of the doubt and just assume that she's telling the truth. And after all this happens, I just send, the final thing I said to her was, if you didn't want to talk to me, why did you pretend? You could have just said you didn't want to, and I would have understood that. If you never want to hear from me again, then you won't. End of story. And at that point, she blocks that account too. But I don't know. It's not mad. It's not that I was mad at her for not wanting to talk to me. That's completely understandable if you don't, and I would have respected that. I might not have wanted it to happen, but I could have respected it if she would have at least sent back that she didn't want to talk anymore, that she already had a boyfriend or whatever else bullshit. And even then, wow, boyfriend, I wasn't even expecting anything to come from that, so I was just like, whatever. Likely excuse. But at that point, I'm just thinking, like, if I was in her shoes there, and someone was talking to me and thinking they even had a little bit of a chance in the back of their head, just floating around back there, and I knew they didn't, I would come out and say it. I'm not going to pretend that something's going to happen when I know nothing's going to happen. And that really pissed me off. But, I don't know, it's weird emotions, because on one hand, I'm not mad that she didn't want to talk, but I'm also mad that at the reason she went by, doing what she did. Because if she didn't want to talk, that's one thing. She says it outright. I'm like, okay, I can respect that, person to person. I can feel what you're laying down there, but at the same time, it's just, if you just block somebody when you think they think things are going great, and they're not, don't try and dance around it to spare their feelings. Just fucking tell them. That's how I feel. That's how I would treat anybody else if I was in that situation. And it just felt kind of messed up. And the end of that story all happened last night, and I don't know. But if there's any useful information that I've gathered from this, something to learn from, something to remember in the future, that, I know where you work. I'm going to stalk you. Be prepared. Bye.